What's going on, good people? Welcome to the Paul Rivera Podcast show. I am elated. I normally say excited. I am elated for this guest I have on the show today. For those of you listening, for those of you watching, that scent you probably smell of money, it's because of my guest today.
That's a
lie. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the president of SpringHill Entertainment, Jamal Henderson. Jamal, what up?
What up, bro?
Good to have you on the show, man. Hey, we miss you on the East Coast, man.
Feels good to be here, you know what I'm saying?
How long you been on the West Side?
Shit, 4 years? 4 years has it been?
That long?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Going on 4, right?
Definitely coming up on 4
sure?
years, yeah.
Wow. So I'm excited, and Ma was giving me shit because as he walked in, I was writing like some notes down. He's like, "You're prepping for the show?" Prepping, as you guys know, is like writing 2 or 3 things down. I'm actually excited about. Obviously, you and I are partners, work together, talk every day, all that stuff. I don't know a ton of early days Jamal Henderson, so I think that's I'd like to start there.
Yeah.
Give me Jamal like coming up like just as a shorty.
Yeah, I mean, shit, only child, Buffalo, New York. Home of the hardest rappers out right now.
It took you 17 seconds.
This is how it felt when you was from Toronto,
yeah. I see. Hey, them boys on fire too, by the way.
This is hard, yeah.
So Buffalo ain't sweet, by the way.
Nah.
You know that.
Yeah,
Buffalo ain't sweet.
A lot of people went upstate and did things and all that, but it's a working class town. You know what I mean? It's funny because Mav and I talk about it. It's like Buffalo is kind of like a Cleveland, like Niagara. It's a Rust Belt town. It's like, so that's what it was, bro. Like only child there. Just chilling.
Played sports?
Latchkey kid, yeah. Played sports, obviously, Thought I was nice. I played everything. And then, you get to and then you're like, oh, I'm not nice. But, all that. That's what we did, man. Just basketball, football. Really, really basketball, baseball. My mom wouldn't let me play football until I was in high school.
Okay.
And then as soon as I started doing that, I was doing that. And then, that's the sport that got me, like, what I'm saying, a little shine. But shit, yeah, we did it all. Got you.
And then, so you go to school at?
Cornell.
Yeah,
did
right.
that.
Real light, you're like, little
Cornell.
Not sure if you've heard of it. Little school called Cornell.
Crazy. Yeah, but it was crazy because it was like I said, I thought I was, this is funny because I talk about this all the time. It's like, is that moment, you didn't notice, you don't know this because you were professional, but, there's a moment for us as amateurs. Yeah. There's a moment for us where it was like, I was nice, I'm like in my little area, my little league. And then, and then you go, even at Cornell, it's D1, right?
Yeah.
People, bigger, faster, stronger, but like, you're like, what the fuck, So there was even a moment there where I was like, yo, I'm trash. Fuck, I should probably go to school.
How soon did that moment happen? How soon did that moment happen?
Bro, that happened in fucking training, preseason. Actually, what happened was, They made us report early. You know about this shit.
Of course.
They made us report.
So like first week in August or some shit like that?
So I went to school in New York State. That goes all the way to like June.
Wow.
Yep. You know that.
Yeah,
graduation
late. Yep,
is
of course.
mad late.
Yep.
So I go to like June. A week later, I got to be in Ithaca.
Oh, wow.
So I had no summer after high school,
year,
right? So I get it all in a week. Break up with my girl, you do it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we go right to summer school and shit. And the summer school was cool because I got big, like it was on some jail shit. Because I had a real training, you lift for
the first time you lifted, nutrition, all that stuff.
I had a guy that was like, "Yo, we're doing this," and it was like we were running and shit. So this was popping. So then school starts and the girls come to the campus.
Yep, freshmen come early.
It's really only been athletes.
Yep,
female athletes too, but like you're there if you're taking summer school. You're not there doing anything.
Yes,
they come. Everybody comes, and we're like. Big. I mean, I'm probably like 10 pounds heavier than I was.
Shredded.
My shirt's off 100% of the time. 100% of the time. And then I was like, yo, we do. And then as soon as they really, really rang that bell and we started hitting and shit, I was like, yeah, nah.
This ain't for me.
Nah. And so then the whole season I went, and I was like special teams, whatever, did nothing. And then we came back around and I was like, yeah, I got to really make a decision because spring ball comes back up fast.
Yeah.
And you're like, why are we doing this? There's no games.
Yeah.
You just practice and there's no games. Dude. Yeah, it was crazy, man. That shit was crazy because it was like you play like and you practice like you're at Syracuse, but there's no one giving you the answers to the test, and the shit is hard.
I asked one of my boys, I remember.
Really, it's crazy.
I remember one of my boys went to UMass. Actually, not even Vic. Like, one of the boys I went to high school with, he went to UMass to play football. And we thought he was the nicest cat since fucking Joe Morris of the Giants, right? He's like a small speed back, you know, and he was super fast, track team, all that.
Yeah.
And he went to UMass, and I remember asking him, like, literally, like, after his first game, like, yo, like, what's the biggest difference? He was like, speed. Yeah. And I'm like, no, but you're fast. What do you mean speed? He goes, everybody's fast here.
Everybody's fast.
Linebackers are fast. Everybody's fast. He's like, you see a hole, and by the time you get there, it ain't there no more.
Nah.
He's like, everyone's fast. It's just a different pace. It's a different thing. And I think maybe in football more than anything, because you have that combination like speed, power, strength, all those things, you realize it quickly, like, if there's a future here or not.
Nah, you know straight up and down. You know straight up and down. And that's the thing, too, was like, it actually is funny because it's like when you think about a pro, just how much better they are than every pro that's lined up was the best guy in their high school, maybe ever.
Yes.
They're in the high school. They're clearly in the Hall of Fame of their high school.
Yes, absolutely.
And that lets you know, it's crazy the fucking yeah. So that was it. And then and my GPA was already trash because I had been playing sports. So then but it was good, man. I mean,
how quickly do you pivot and say, okay, you know what? I know I'm not going to the league. Let me focus on this school shit.
2 years, yeah, 2 years, and then I'm out, and then I'm like, all right, I got to go to school, and then I was like, I'm gonna go to law school.
Okay.
And then, but I couldn't really get my GPA like all the way there. You know what I'm saying? And then I got lucky. I interviewed for like this consulting job, and it was like the first week of school, and I got the job, and I was like, yo, I'm good. I'm not. So then the whole senior year, I was like, yo,
I'm getting to the bag.
Come on, well, I'm moving to New York. So,
you start dropping that no matter what they ask you.
Bruh,
what time is it? Here in the city? I'm just curious because.
I don't know. You tell me. Yeah.
So you're consulting. What are you doing consulting?
Man, everything, bro. It's just like, you Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday, you get a suit, you go to some company and sit there and crunch numbers. I mean, it was really like a soul fucking crushing thing, but it was cool. It was a job. I was making more money than I ever thought I was going to make. It was really that, or you go be an investment banker or some shit. And I didn't have the grades to do that. That was more like, well, yeah, this guy's got a 4.0. And the hustle with consulting it was about the gift. It was about the gift, the gab. Of course. It was about honestly, a lot like what ended up being advertising and marketing. Yep. It was
before we knew it was advertising.
Yeah, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So it was really that, and people were like, "Oh, I like you. You're likable." Yeah, And so then I was able to just, you used to play ball, and that became like a talking point that you could get into the.
I'm close to the athlete. I was an athlete.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. So it was.
What are you passionate about at this point? So you graduate high school. You graduate college.
Yeah.
You're 21, 22 when you graduate, give or take.
Yeah.
Like, what are you into? Like, are you passionate about like? Sports, like...
Yeah, I mean, I'm an 80s baby. I'm passionate about everything. Hip-hop, sports, everything, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like everybody, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm into all that same shit, but I'm not actualizing any of that shit at work, you know what I mean?
Got it.
And so, like a lot of people that I'm sure listen to your show, bro, like, it's like, that's the thing, you know what I mean? It's like when you're fucking in the cubicle doing the thing, and it has nothing to do with what you spend your whole actual life thinking about doing.
And especially early on, what used to keep me up at night when I was younger was like, man, I have like relationships. I know this culture, sports space. I know kind of what's dope, but I don't know how to connect all these things into a meaningful thing I can make money off in a career.
Yeah.
And that could be frustrating as shit, like as early on in your career.
Hell yeah, B. And I'm in like Connecticut. You know what I mean? Because I'm living in the city. I'm living in Brooklyn at the time. Before the bike lanes, I'm on like Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? When it was real and shit. Nah, we got robbed twice in that apartment. But I'm living there, and then I'm taking the train up to New London, Connecticut, like at Pfizer. Acting like know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But that's the shit, right? When you're in the middle of nowhere and you're like, what the fuck am I doing tonight?
Yeah.
And you're going, and we were in hotels, and you would go back to hotels, and it was just like a weird.
How do you end up at PepsiCo?
I end up at PepsiCo because I was frustrated with my job. I met my now wife, who like always happens with women, like she knew what her plan was.
She's like, catch up, homie.
Yeah, her plan was like, I'm going to business school, so there's that. Okay, what's business school? You know what I mean? And then so on the weekends she would be studying for her GMAT. So then But I was working Monday through Thursday, like in another city or some shit. So I would come back, and on the weekends, I'm trying to kick it. Like, yo, this is all we got, girl.
Movies,
Let's
let's go to dinner. Let's do what we do.
Like, no, I have my Kaplan class. You know what I'm saying? So
You're
I'm
like, yo,
so
what?
then I was like, yo, let me see that. You know? Yo, let me see that shit. You ain't smart.
Shit's upside down.
You know what I mean? And so then, so I started taking the test or what have you, and then, and then of course, like I do fine on the test, and she's like struggling, so it's fucked up,
Of course.
But so then she's like, well, that's gonna be our plan. We're gonna go to school together. And I was like, cool, anything to get me out of this shit, And then, then of course, because I'm an idiot, I decided like, I'm gonna go to Northwestern. So I ended up going to Chicago, and she had got into this other school, and she was like, so you're not going to the same school as me? I had got into that same school too, but I didn't go to that school.
Please tell me she knows this story. And she's not hearing about it for the first time on the show.
Breaking news.
This will be our last show. Yes, me too. Our last show.
Yeah. Paul will be gone too. Yeah. No. So then we end up, and we're living together in New York. I mean, it's real.
Got you.
And all
it's
that.
a real thing. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a crazy thing. So I'm like, I think really my vibe is like, so. And mind you, I'm young. I mean, you're saying I got married young. I got married at like 27.
Oh wow.
So I'm like 25, living with, because in New York City, like two can live better than one. So I'm like, shit, I live on Upper West Side with my girl, doorman. So, I'm doing all that, and I need all that energy. But then I'm just like, I can't really, So I moved to Chicago, go to school and all that, and obviously we got back together. It's a happy story, It's a happy story. But yeah, man, that's how it all happened. And then when I'm there, it's all the same shit, banking, consult, whatever the fuck, and but really what I'm passionate about is like pop culture, like we saying, sports, music, whatever. And I'm just trying to get close to something like, you know what I mean? At the time, you know how it is, my man's is rapping, I'm managing him. Like,
of course.
Because, we don't notice at the time, but like everybody in our life sees us as that guy, like, yo, you're a sounding
close to
board.
the guy, yes.
You're a sounding board. You're like, Maul kind of has some sense. Yeah. Let's talk to him, Like, you went to Cornell, right? Yeah. That type. So I'm that guy in everybody's phone. So then that shit was coming to me, but meanwhile I'm here at the school. Like, what am I? How am I going to your point?
Yeah, trying to connect.
What am I doing? I still can't connect the dots. So then I get, I meet this guy there who was at Pepsi. And he starts telling me about Pepsi and everything they do. I was like, I get that. You sell soda, what have you. But he was like, nah, but we do more than that because we got the NFL and we got, at the time they were doing music in a crazy way, all that shit. So I was like, oh, this is fresh. You know what I'm saying? So I interview for the job. I get an offer to intern in New York. So I was definitely trying to get back to New York. I get back to New York. And for the summer, I do a marketing internship at Pepsi. I have no idea what marketing is, but, I do it. And I realized, I was like, oh, this is popping because I can now basically do everything I want to do off the back of this. And you know how that play is. It's like, oh, that shit spark happens. It's like, oh, word, I could just call the NFL?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean I could just call
I could cut my man a check for doing,
Right.
This photography thing he does. I could do this.
Right.
I could
You're
sponsor my man's event over
you
here.
start putting it together like, oh, word. Yeah, because everybody's picking up, oh, Pepsi's online too. Jamal from Pepsi. You know Jamal? No, I don't know Jamal
I know Pepsi, though.
Yeah, but I know he got money, So then I would just, I was running that play, and I did that for 7 years.
Talk to me about like how a young, black, predominantly football player from Buffalo ends up having a vision or seeing the floor on this thing we call skate and hip hop that you did with was it Mountain Dew?
Yeah. Well, I didn't grow up skateboarding not one bit. I never fucking did it ever. Snow on the ground. We didn't skate. So, but like I ended up working on Mountain Dew, and I went to some of the shit, and the culture was dope. You know what I mean? There was Spanish kids, there was black kids skating. It was a whole wave happening. So I peeped it, and then we just had to put the whole play together. But it was like they already had a Mountain Dew skate team that had a Dew tour and all that, and it was just about how do we actually make this shit culturally relevant, where it wasn't just like, oh yeah, like those white kids do it, and this happens, and then organically, at the time, what you're alluding to was Lil Wayne started dressing like a skateboarder and having his own awakening and shit.
100%.
And so it was like perfect. It was like, oh, now we have a real articulation of that in culture of what I already seen for the last 2 years because I've been there, and you see the kids doing it. You know what I mean? Or you fly to LA and you go to Fairfax and you go, this is different. Or you go up on 125th and you go, something's happening. You know what I'm saying? Because it was right when a lot of people was like, basketball sneakers get swapped out for skate sneakers at this time.
Yep.
Dunks are happening.
Yep.
Kids are wearing Vans, and shit is changing. You know what I mean? And that was what we sort of rode that wave, and then we just got busy with it.
So you're riding that wave. At the time, you're making more money than you've ever made. You yourself said you're working in a space where you can combine kind of all your passions. It kind of finally feels like you're connecting all those dots, right?
Yeah.
And then a gentleman by the name of Maverick Carter comes and calls you.
Yeah.
What's that initial? Because the funny thing is, the first time I met you is through Mav.
Yes.
And the first time I met you is when Mav's having the initial conversation with you about SpringHill.
Yeah. You were there.
Right? What is that initial conversation? What's Mav's initial pitch / conversation with you about, hey, we're building this thing.
Yeah.
I want you to come run it.
Yeah, this is funny. This revolves around a guy we just talked about, and I don't know if you I don't know if we even had this story. You probably know it because we knew at the same time we knew a lot of the same people.
Of course,
just because of life. But this guy Bonin, okay, so this shit happens crazy, right? Life. But anyway, when I was at Pepsi, this guy Bonin was there. This guy named Bonin Bao, who's
shout out.
Digital,
what up, Bonin? He's a G, man.
He's a G.
Legend, man.
Legend. So he was running this whole digital play at Pepsi. Then he had moved on, did something else. He knows nothing about sports, absolutely nothing. He hits me. He's like, yo, I just met this guy, Maverick Carter. I was with him in San Francisco. I go, yeah, okay, cool. Meanwhile, I'm at Pepsi, and at the time, I'm running this play where we're about to take over the NBA. Nobody really knows that, but I'm leading this sort of deal team where we're like about to take over the NBA, and low-key, I just signed Russell Westbrook, and a lot of things Mountain Dew was about to become, about to displace Sprite or what have you.
Got you.
But nobody really knows that. He's like, yo, you should meet him, man. He's like, you guys are like the same guy. He's like talking, and he reminds me of you. I told him he had to know you. You guys are the same person. I go, yeah, we can't. But and again, I'm like fucking Johnny Corporate at this time. I'm like, obviously, I'm the future CMO of Pepsi. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling myself. So I'm like, well, those guys work with Coke, so I don't really know if she should, So I'm doing all that. He's like, yo, you want to go to lunch with this guy? Like, what are you talking about? And then, it's a lesson for everybody. It's like, always go to lunch. Mm-hmm.
I always say, show up, man. Show up.
Yeah, just show up, Like, even if whatever you got in your head, like, shit might change, Mm-hmm. So, thank God I did. I went into the lunch, and, Maverick being Maverick was just, wild charismatic. He's just like, he was, just like, we started talking and shit. And, one of the things he said to me was crazy. He said, so you should just know that you're bidding against yourself with this whole Pepsi Coke thing. Record scratch? What do you mean? He's like, yeah, I've already convinced Coke that all they need is LeBron James. They don't need the league. And I'm like, whoa. And he was like, yeah, so, and I'm like, well, why would you tell me that? It's like, yeah, I like you, man. I just want you to know that. So when you do your thing, like, you should do the thing, be the guy who lands the plane on the deal, but like, don't go crazy because like I said, it's like, they're already riding with homie. Like, it's not, like, they're not, it's a bluff. They're not like trying to bid you, you know what I mean? So I leave there and I'm like fucking confused. I'm like, is he trying to like talk me out? Like, what's he doing?
Jedi mind trick me, this guy.
Yeah. Cause he could tell that I'm like inside. Like, he's like, this guy is really like,
yeah, you're a lifer. He's a lifer.
Yeah, This guy's drinking the Kool-Aid. And then, going, long story short is like, he's right. Coke is completely with Brian. It's all good. And then we do the deal. And then we start just, vibing, becoming friends. This is a long sort of thing. And, puts me with Stat, like, oh, you should meet Stat, all that stuff. We just start vibing, chilling. Because you know how he like, Matt, he's just like, takes care, just builds relationships. And then at one point, he was like, yo, man, you should come to Cleveland, man. Like, you should just fly out. And like, I want to talk to you about what's happening. So I go there and I tell my wife, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I should probably like go out there. Like, again, I should probably take the meeting. So I go out there, I take the meeting, and he starts sketching out what could be, what was happening. Bron had just come back to Cleveland, and he was the good guy again. You know what I mean? And they were Mav was putting the plan together for like this whole master plan. And I was like, he drew a bunch of shit. He was like, okay, so I see this, and this. I was like,
Mav loves him a napkin, by the way.
Yeah,
he loves him to show you a napkin, boy.
And I was like, what do you see this? What do you see this? And all that. And he was like, no, you're going to do all this. And by the way, I'd never seen nothing like that, bro. Like, to this day, I'd never seen like a dude our age have the chef, all that shit. You come to the house and it's like, it's a thing, and you're like, And meanwhile, I'm slaving away at the whole thing. I had just had my first kid. You know what I mean? You just start having these life moments. And I was like, bro, I don't know what you're selling, but I'm in. You know? I was in, you know? So I came home and I told my wife, I was like, bro, I don't know. I don't really know what's happening. I might just be getting this guy coffee or something. I don't really know. But I think, I'm going to have to do that, whatever it is. And then you were there actually when I got briefed in on what the fuck it was.
Of course. Let me ask you this. I won't make it specific to your wife. Does your inner circle, homies, family, wife, colleagues, you're at PepsiCo, because I went through this leaving Nike. You're at PepsiCo. And yes, we know who Maverick Carter is, especially even back then. You're going to leave PepsiCo to do what? Like, doubters, like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? You're going to do what? Like, was there a lot of that for you in making that decision?
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. You know what I mean? And so it was people don't get that, Mm-hmm. And yeah, bro, I had a 401k, I had the whole shit cooking. But it was that moment where it's like, if I didn't do it, I was a lifer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was 1,000%. It was like 7-year itch. It was like, you've been there for 7 years. You've done great stuff. You've made Super Bowl spots. You've done all type of things, connected dots. They've given you bigger brands on bigger brands on bigger mm-hmm. brands. There's only one other brand I was going to go to, B,
Right.
So it was like, the building is big, but it's not like.
Right. It's kind of the same building.
It's kind of the same building. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, it was 100% that, so it's like, you just got to like take the leap. You know what I mean? So I tell people, just take the leap. I mean, I'm never the guy who says like, follow your dreams, because the people that say follow your dreams are rich.
It's much easier to follow your dreams when you're sitting on a bag.
I never just go blind, follow your dreams. But like, bro, but taking chance. It was a chance.
Take
sure.
Calculated chances, yes.
Calculated chance. If like I said, a year from now, it's a fun story. If it doesn't work out, like I'm gonna double back. Yeah. Lick my wounds, right?
Yeah. Hey guys, it's me, Jamal.
Uh-huh.
Hey guys,
tail between my legs. Nah. Yeah. But it didn't go that way.
So thank God for all of us, right? So let me ask. So, okay, you're hired.
Yeah.
You're president of SpringHill. At the time, SpringHill's a logo. And a vision, right?
There was a show,
right? So Survivor's Remorse.
Yeah, there was a show on the air called Survivor's Remorse.
Okay, so Survivor's Remorse. So you come in though. Here's one thing, and I've never told you this. Here's one thing where you earn my respect from the door. And normally I'm a hater, and normally, I'm like, we'll see if this guy or this mm-hmm. girl can cut it, and we'll see if they add value because the circle's tight and we don't let anyone in it. Where you earn my respect from the door. On the business side, because we connected as homies from day one, was you knew what the fuck you didn't know, right?
Yeah.
You weren't, you didn't try to hide it. You didn't try to overcompensate for it. You knew what you knew, and you were confident in what you brought to the table, but you were very clear and honest about what you didn't know. And people normally handle that one of two ways. One is they overcompensate for it and act like they know everything.
Yeah.
And two is they're like, I gotta ask, I gotta get information, I gotta learn, I gotta meet with people, I gotta do this, and that was you from day one. I remember you sitting actually not far from the studio, right?
Yeah, right
10 feet away. Excuse me. And I remember you like just learning. Like, what was that learning curve for you like from day one and coming on board to run SpringHill?
It was crazy. I mean, that's the main thing people hit me up about, yo. It's funny you say that. The main people think hit me up is just somebody like, I'm trying to be a career switcher, right? Everyone thinks it's like, and it's so funny because I had no intention of being a career mm-hmm. switcher. I was like, I'm gonna come help these guys but really I'm thinking marketing. Like I'm gonna mm-hmm. help, let me come do my thing. Mm-hmm. But like, let me do it with these guys because like, I believe in this. Like, I believe in this. And the thing that you said is the circle's small, but like everybody at that point did know like, man, wow, these brothers are moving in a
mm-hmm.
different way. So I was like, I need some of that. Like I'm with that. Let me help that. And yeah, bro. And then it turned into like, so run a production company.
Mm-hmm. You're like,
so
what?
That was crazy, yeah. Because what happened was Braun had just done Trainwreck,
mm-hmm.
and everybody was like,
that was the light bulb.
That was the light bulb.
Yeah.
He was fantastic, and everybody was like, oh well, maybe he's The Rock, you know what I mean? And then we ended up doing the deal at Warner Brothers, and I was the guy, I was out there kind of being the face of that with Maverick. He put that all together. And then they were kind of like, yo, where you going? Like, you're going to do this, right? And then that's exactly how it kind of happened. And then I was like, I guess I'm doing this. So, yeah, it was. I wasn't looking to be a career switcher. Most people are like, yo, I'm you know what, I do, I know I'm a truck driver, but really I'm a this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It wasn't that. It was like, I was put in a situation where it was like, let's get it. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a part of the bigger vision. Like, you know, grab an oar, let's go. You know what I mean? And so it was straight up necessary, you know what I mean? But that's 100% what, and my whole thing is like, let's talk to smarter people than me. And, you know, we got resources, we got people to call, you know what I'm saying? So I never feel like it's a one-man show, but you know, yeah, it was crazy, bro.
So
it was crazy. It was crazy.
So you get to SpringHill. There's a show, you know, already, you know, that exists. But your task isn't just to like, hey, manage the show. It's like, hey, go build a production company. Like, go build a company, right? And we're not really sure what that even means.
Right.
We're really not even sure what success looks like. Day one in the office for you, like, what are you thinking, okay, I need to accomplish? Like, did you have a clear vision on what success looked like for you in this next chapter in your life?
You know, I don't know, man, because it's like, no. I mean, the answer is no, but, you know, we got to put, like, you put something up there, right? Like, you know, it's funny, like if someone asked me, like, well, what do you want to be in 10 years? It's like, well, I don't know, because that thing might not be even created yet. Like, you know, if someone told you, like, oh, social media 10 years ago, that's not a tool for me.
Is that
like,
the World Wide Web thing they
right.
talking about?
So, you know, so I don't know. I don't really know, you know what I mean? But what I knew was, like, I knew that, you know, saying we, like, you know, with Brian and Mav, like, there was a lot that they stood for. There was amazing things happening. And it was like, and I knew from being on the brand side how much people coveted content, right? Everybody coveted content. Everybody was trying to do it. We were doing it at Mountain Dew too. Like, we were doing movies, and so I was doing that stuff, and I was doing it like with spots. You do it, you know what I mean? So I was doing it, like, so it's like you have an eye for it too, you know what I mean? It was taking it to the next level. It's like, okay, well, I know what a great 30 looks like. I know what a dope 60 looks like. I've been a part of making those, but it's like, shit, what does an hour look like? How do you get to that great script? Like, that's the difference. But it's great work is great work, and talent is the fucking precious metal, B. Talent is the precious metal, and we had that right here. You know what I'm saying? We had the IP. Like, people, you know, people look at Marvel as the Marvel universe is the most valuable universe, because it's like fucking all these characters and shit, right? That you can exploit, fucking take all the way out. But like, really what happens is, like, the most valuable piece of IP is LeBron James. You know what I mean? And so when you look at it that way, that was the guiding light, and that's what still is the guiding light for SpringHill. It's like, never ever do I want to ever put anything in the world that Mav and LeBron don't feel like they can amplify. That, frankly, I look at it like you, Rich, Randy, everyone doesn't feel like they can amplify and be like, yo, we rocking. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thesis, and then you got to build a team and have everyone know that. Yeah. And be like, hey, yeah, you don't buy for you, B. You don't buy for you. You buy for this. And so that's what it is. And SpringHill is like, but the dope thing about it is, and I didn't know this, I couldn't see this coming, is, you know, so Brian wins the chip. What the fuck? You know what I mean? He goes to Cleveland and wins the chip. We get stronger. Crazy. So the fucking tweet, you bum, happens. We get stronger. Like, now I'm reaching
Shut up and dribble.
Now I'm reaching for a book, and I'm like, I'm fighting everyone for this book about Madam C.J. Walker. Everyone's like, why would you guys do this? I take the meeting, Octavia Spencer, she's like, oh, I get it. We're entrepreneurs. This is about we're entrepreneurs at the core. We're about building, but you know what I'm saying? So then everyone's like, oh, I get it. So it's like, the shit that we're able to do is only getting wider and crazier, because it started with like, oh, let's do basketball this, and you know, like, this is, oh, well, Vic's a homie, let's do his movie, or you know, it was, and that was a great. I mean, frankly, if it's not for that, I don't learn it, you know, because that's on the job training. But like, yeah, now it's like, that's the core shit. So it's like, all right, I don't want to put anything in the world that you're like, oh, I ain't fucking with that, or it's like, nah, this shit hard, and you should know about it. You know? You know, so that's really what it is. But talent is the most precious metal, like, out here, bro. Like, everybody's running around, but like, if you don't have the thing and can't do the thing.
But that's also, so I agree with you 100%, obviously. But I also want to make sure you don't sell yourself short in that's half the battle, right? Like Rich Paul, you know, the poet, Richard Paul, you know, as he so eloquently says, he says, and I said this to him, he was on the show, I said, you know, he once told me, he said, Jay-Z can book The Garden for me. Jay-Z can get me The Roots to be my backup band. Jay-Z could get Beyonce to sing backup for me.
Yeah.
Jay-Z could sell tickets. He goes, but guess what? When them lights come on, I got to sing.
That's great.
Right?
Facts.
So it's like
Facts.
you have the talent, you have the big home, and you have Bron, but you got to produce.
Oh, 100%. And so I'll take it a step further. Like, so we have all that, right? So we got the thing. But you know what, you know what he can't do? He's not directing a movie. He's not writing the movie. You know what I'm saying? So then I take it a step further. So then it's about building relationships with like every writer in town.
Yep.
Every director in town. Talent, actors, you know, people that we admire, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we've spent the last 4 or 5 years doing, is like every breakfast, lunch, and dinner. To now where you hit me and you're like, you can hit me and be like, yo, Mo, give me a list of 10 writers.
Yep.
We have that list.
Yep.
These are 10 writers we want to be in business with. We fucking love them.
Yep.
And here's some samples. Like, this is other shit they wrote. You know, because maybe you have an idea, or someone brings us a book and like, who can adapt this or what? So yeah, 100%. And the dope thing about it is there's a lack of these type of stories that matter to us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, so like those type of stories that we're all like, oh, holy shit, you know what I mean? And nobody's making them, but we are the only people that really have a chance to make them.
Yep.
So we can
and almost a responsibility to make them.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah. So I feel that pressure every day. Like, all right, how are we gonna make Space Jam incredible? Not like, cause by the way, your ticket's already bought for Space Jam. Just on the like, I always tell Ryan Coogler this. We got the fortune of producing Space Jam with Ryan Coogler, and I told Ryan this. I go, Ryan, I'm gonna tell you something, bro. It's a secret. You had me at Rocky 7. Okay, you didn't. I was going to Rocky, but then when you said, you know, it's Creed. It's about Creed's son. Okay, now I'm definitely going. Mm-hmm. But then when you did that shit where you did the one shot in the ring, where he was fighting homie, and it's the kid from the Bay. What's the kid from? I can't think of the fighter right now. Andre. No, the kid from the Bay. That now he hosts the. I can't think of this. Is Andre Ward?
It's Andre Ward.
Andre Ward.
Light skin cat. Yeah, Andre Ward.
And he's fighting Andre Ward, and it's believable. Mm-hmm. And we're going in this one shot, and I was just like, bruh. I was like, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what we got to do with Space Jam. We got to be like, all right, my ticket's bought.
Yep.
Facts, of course. LeBron James and Space.
Yep.
I'm in. I'm taking the whole family. But then we got to have that. We got to do that stunt where it's like, yo. They did the thing.
Yeah, well, it's
they
like
got this off. They got this off. The music's popping. The merch is, you know. So it's like I appreciate the compliment, because it's like I feel you on that. But then it's like there's now the expectation was like the bar. That's what I tell my team too. Okay, great. Now the bar is now here. Yeah,
it's almost, it's like the gift and the curse, right? It's like, because of all those elements we have, yes, people are gonna buy the ticket. Mm-hmm. You're going to take your wife, you're going to take your kids, you're going to go watch it, right? But you're going to get a lot of this, too. See what this LeBron and this SpringHill shit's about.
Well,
like,
they hate
cool.
Yeah, okay.
Fucking up a classic. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, getting you to the theater is one thing, right? How do they leave and be like, oh, okay, these guys really about this life. It's not just because you got the big homie.
I know. And look, and we're not going to bat 100%, you know?
Of course.
We're not going to bat. I'm doing that for Mav. We're not going to.
You're like, you're listening, right, Mav?
Yeah, we're not batting 1,000. We're not batting. No, but yo, we've been fortunate so far. We have done a lot of things that all came off. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely everyone's an opinion. Everyone's a critic.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That is the one thing about the job where it's like you got to have tough skin, because it's like I put some shit in the world and we're like, yeah, this is it. And you're like, yeah, cool. Not for me.
That was cute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
I remember one time, you know, you told me, you know, I came out to LA, I'm just checking in. I'm like, yo, what's good? How's everything going? And you were like, man, the good news is, you know, we pitched, you know, I don't remember the number, 4 or 5 shows, and we got all of them, you know, sold or whatever. And I'm like, all right, what's the bad news? You're like, we got to go out and make 4 or 5 shows now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think people understand like what that entails and all that.
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah.
Some of the fun stuff. Let's talk about some of the projects.
Right.
You just referenced Madam C.J. Walker.
Yeah. Super.
Tell us about it. I know you're really excited about this project.
Super proud of it, yo. I told Matt, I was like, I seen his mom last week. We were at a birthday party and she was there, and I was like, this is for you.
She's a G too, by the way.
Yeah, she's the best. It's like, this is like, you know, make our mama proud shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing. All female, like, just creative crew on it. Dope story. Octavia's doing her thing. Hopefully she gets all the awards.
Legend.
Yeah, you know, it's dope. You know, but we got a bunch of shit coming, and you know, the Wall's coming back. It was a big game show we have.
So I was gonna ask that. It's like I remember being at the beginning, the Wall, a game show, and I literally, it's gonna sound like I'm stunting or flexing, but it's like I remember being on a plane with Mav, and he pulls me into the conversation, and it's like him and Adam and the team are talking. They're like, "Yeah, the Wall, whatever." I'm like, "A game?" I'm like, "We're doing a game show?" Right? Like, talk to us about like how, not necessarily how it came to life, but like how that fits in. Like, why would we do a game? Why would LeBron James executive produce a game show?
It's a great case study, because it's like we had to crack that, right? Like, it's a game that we loved, that we knew was going to work, but then it was like, all right, how is it SpringHill, right? And it's SpringHill because everybody involved with who gets on the show has done something in their community, that's done something that's empowering, that's done something that we can respond to. And frankly, a lot of the contestants was like black and brown. But we dictated that. You know what I'm saying? So that's exactly right. It's like that's you basically have to be a good Samaritan to get on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not about getting the bag.
You can't stand on Hollywood Boulevard and go to it. It's not The Price is Right.
Right,
you know,
right.
It's not like some shit. I'm in LA and you know, I stood for the so but yeah, I mean that's one that we got that all over the world, man. In like 25 countries. All over the world, you know, making that show. So, and the whole that's the thing, is like, how do you create a sustainable business that's like a real thing, that's not about just the big homie. You know what I mean? This is like long and gone. Like, this is something that we can say, you don't have to do nothing if you don't want to. You can go do whatever, buy the team, do whatever, or come fuck with this. You know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to create, that energy where it's like, it's all sustainable, it's all rocking to the same thing. But yeah, the Wall is one of them joints where it is funny. I love, honestly, that people don't expect that we have it. You know what I mean? And I love that too for Madam CJ. Like, a lot of people are like, you guys produce that? Yeah. Or even Top Boy.
I was like, so that's where I'm going next.
You know, Top Boy's like, whoa.
So now I'm gonna get my inner Stan fandom.
Yeah, I'm not giving no spoilers away.
Right, no, we're not doing spoilers. We're not gonna do that. Top Boy, which has a cult following, I think now, in no short part to a lot of the great work you and the team have done, you know, has a wider following. Top Boy was canceled or wasn't going to be renewed. Am I correct in saying this?
It was gone.
It was gone, right?
Dead and gone. It was dead and gone.
All right. So there's the Drake piece, whatnot. So correct me if I'm wrong. Call bullshit. As I understood it, Drake DMs one of the main characters, right, and says like, "When's the show coming back? I'm a fan." And he says it's not, right? Drake and Future the Prince, who's a G, who I love, who's family, right?
The best.
They reach out to you and the team and the fam and say, "Hey, we love this show. It's kind of gone. Is there something here?" Is that accurate so far?
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Were you familiar with Top Boy at this point before
Not
it
at
came
all.
on? No, not at all.
Not at all.
So Mav wasn't either, I believe.
No, wasn't. He wasn't. Future called Mav.
Okay.
Everything you said is correct. Future calls Mav and is like, "Yo, we got the rights to the show. You guys are making TV now, right? Like, how do I do this?" Mav hits me.
By the way, I loved about Future. Like, let's get the rights and then figure out how to do it later. That's if you know Future, that's my guy.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
And he had done all the work. Future had put it all together.
Yes.
They even had written out the season.
I love it.
They had even outlined the writer. This is an amazing dude named Ronan Berry. He did it. And by the way, he's such a G, by the way, an official, that he got cases. He can't fly to the U.S., this writer.
Oh, wow.
So he's on Skype pitching the show. Meanwhile, Drake's in the room with us pitching the show, like as a fan. You know what I mean? So we take it to Netflix. We pitch the show. We sell the show in. And then
Drake's in the pitch meeting to Netflix?
He's there, 100%, yeah. And anyway, but going back to Mav calls me. He's like, "You ever heard the show Top Boy?" Nah. He's like, "All right, can you like hurry up and like check it out?
Vet it.
Because then I got to get back." So that night I watched the whole shit. I mean, I watched the first one thinking like, whatever. I couldn't stop watching the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's on YouTube. I'm like watching the shit. I'm like, yo, I call him the next day. I'm like, yo, I know that this is like way different than us, but this shit is hard as fuck. You need to watch the shit.
Mav called me. I'm like, no, I've seen all of them. Like, this is. I was wondering when the next season was.
By the way, it's the same time that Money and Violence is
that's bubbling on YouTube, right?
Yes.
It's
the same time.
Yes.
So it was like, you know what I mean? It was like, and I was like, oh, this is Yeah. And it was, and maybe Power was on, maybe not. Like maybe it was, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe season 1.
It was early
maybe.
Power. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, bro, it's like shit is crazy. So yeah, we're doing the show in London. We're doing, I don't want to break no news, but there'll be more.
You went to London for the premiere, right? As you should. Like, what was the energy like over there? Like, have they embraced it as their own show? Like,
yeah, it's crazy. It was the number. It was like the top show in Netflix UK for like 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, that's with the crown and everything. It's incredible. The energy is crazy. It's a hometown hero for sure.
I loved watching or being on Twitter. I think actually Lenny S, if he's listening or watching, what up, Lenny? He had said, he's like, the good news is I just binge watched the whole season on top. Where the bad news is I keep calling everyone bruv now. Like, you know what I'm saying? It became a real like part of everyone's life. Like the show was just incredible, man. Like,
yeah, man, it was cool, man. It's cool, and that's the worlds that I think we can create, bring back, and all that shit. So, and the new talent that we found, man, we found some incredible actors in that show that now, you know what I mean, will be.
What's the kid's name that plays like the
Michael Ward?
He's great. About. He's great. Has he been in anything else?
Plays Jamie. Nah, but he's in a big, I can't really break it, but he's in a big thing coming up.
He's phenomenal, man.
He's nominated for a BAFTA, which is like their, Emmys / Oscars out there.
Okay. There's the one scene where, when his, no spoilers, but basically when the leader, like their side goes away, and there's like the number 2 guy who thinks he's in charge, and he kind of steps to him and was like, and he gets like forehead to forehead with him, and I was like, oh, this guy's got the goods.
Yeah.
It was like such a powerful like.
Right. Who said you run the man down?
Yeah, who said you run it? I was like, oh, okay, young fella. Like it just felt, like it feels like a movement, man. Like Top Boy.
Nah, he's ill, and he plays the soft side too, because the ladies love him out there. He's a model and all that.
Good looking kid. Yep.
He's got an amazing, bright future.
I won't ask you to break anything, but let me ask you: is it beyond imagination that the boy from Toronto would ever potentially make a cameo?
It is not beyond not beyond the pale.
Okay.
You know what I mean? In fact, we talked about that in the season, and one of the things that was funny, and I'm curious what you think because you watched the season. If you would have saw him in a character, would that have taken you out of the world?
I'll answer that in a different way. I love that you grounded it in the show has chops, the characters matter.
Yeah.
I cared who lived, who died, who snitched, who won, who lost. I like that you take potentially, arguably, the biggest artist in the world, and Drake. Now he's just additive to something already special.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not watching Top Boy because Drake's potentially in an episode.
Yeah.
I'm watching Top Boy because Top Boy is fire.
Right.
Now I'm like, oh shit, Drake's in this episode? I want to see if he can keep up with these dudes.
Right.
I'm not watching it because of Drake.
Yeah.
Which is the ultimate compliment you can pay to any show.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I just thought of that when you think of Power and you think of fifths, role and all that. I was like, you know what? I want it the natural progression. If there's ever a world where that could potentially even happen.
Yeah, and I like that we got it off without him doing it.
Yes, agree.
Because now, you know what I mean, to the point, like we've earned it.
Yep.
So now I'm a fan, and if you see him, it's like, oh, that'll drive everybody crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he did a whole project like where he was like locked, did a whole tape and shit next to it, and so yeah, man, we want to do a lot more with that, but shit, we're doing a bunch of shit. We're doing a house party, we're doing a bunch of shit.
So it's only right. The last project I bring up, it's this little project called Space Jam.
Just a tiny little indie joint.
Little indie joint called Space Jam.
Yeah.
What is your reaction when I'm guessing it's Mav or whatever it is? It's like, hey, we have an opportunity to do this thing called Space Jam. What's your initial reaction?
I mean,
like, is there pressure? Are you excited? Are you like, what the fuck? Or we have to do this? Or we?
Yeah, I mean, it's like
yes,
I mean,
all of them.
Yeah, yo, I mean, it was it was like, yo, look, this is the elephant in the room. We got to talk about it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I think Mav is kind of like, and Mav, to his credit, has always been like, if it ain't right, let's not do it.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that quickly. One of the things people don't understand or may not know, let's put it that way, is we could have started Space Jam a while ago, right? Mm-hmm. Had the rights to it or whatnot, not to get into specifics. But Mav, and I'll give him all the credit in the world, and you as well, is we're going to do this when it's right to do it, when all the elements line up, when we have the right people involved in the project. Is that right?
1,000%. We were very patient with it, very patient with it. We had scripts on scripts with, with amazing filmmakers and shit. But then, the last iteration of it is the one we did. And I can't be more excited about it, bro. I think it's going to be, look, we get this off.
It's Space Jam.
It's over. They're gonna have a problem with us.
We can't talk about Space Jam without talking about two things, and then we'll get off it. One is Ryan Coogler. Yeah. Right. What has that meant to the project, to getting him on board, and what's it been like working with him? I mean, he's a genius, man.
He's a genius, man. He's special, bro. And he's built like us, and it's incredible to work with him. You know what I mean? Like, he's just so talented. He's got the story chops. He wrote the movie. He's one of the writers on the movie. It's incredible. I think. Obviously, what he did with Panther is like what we want to do with this. You know what I mean? He created that shit. That's incredible. So it's kind of like LeBron James of filmmaking is with this. He's a generational talent at what he does. We're going to be seeing. It's like young Marty, young Spielberg. For 30 years, you're going to be like, oh, it's a Ryan Coogler film.
Right,
I'm there. It's like Tarantino, right? It's like, oh. Of course, I'm gonna go.
You think he has the potential to be that special that he's in that category, or will be?
Done.
Wow.
It's done. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Funny story. He's so about his business. Mav had a Space Jam call. I hope no one gets in trouble by me saying this. But a Space Jam call. He's like, "Hey, I want you to sit on this meeting with me," and it was a Skype. And I'm kind of not on purpose, but just by the positioning of where like the camera was,
sort of
and the
halfway
room
in the screen.
I'm kind of like off the screen somewhat, whatever. And Ryan's talking. He's going through like his kind of like pitch and all this other stuff. And he goes through his pitch. It's just in turn. It's like Ryan and his team in the Bay, and it's like me and Mav here in New York. And he finishes, and Mav kind of gives his notes or whatever. He's like, P, what do you think? And he kind of like moves the camera over to me. And I'm like, oh, what's going on, fellas? Blah, 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 blah. I give my feedback, and I'm thinking about my shit, I know my shit, whatever. Ryan's like, cool. Hey, Mav, he signed the NDA, though, right? Just want to make sure before we go any further. Ryan's all about his business, man. Like, he was like, he signed the NDA.
Yo, I think the Marvel shit is probably one of the tightest. Maybe Star Wars.
Ooh.
Maybe if you work on Star Wars, you're signing your life away. But yeah. I don't think our shit was as tight as Marvel.
So,
our shit was as tight.
I asked you about having Ryan on the project, and how amazing that is and how additive it's been to the Space Jam project. You had won Mr. King James. You were responsible for King James for 55 dates?
I think he might have did 60 days.
60 days of shooting this summer, which, by the way, the man might have had 85 days off in the off season or whatever that was, right? What was that experience like?
It was incredible.
Just having him show up every day.
First of all, he was incredible. He's incredible in the movie. But he's not an actor. We take for granted that he's great at everything. You know this because you've been around him. It's probably like the most annoying thing. But
put your shirt on, dude. Fuck.
Yo, he's great at everything, and he really carried it. He's the number one on the call sheet. So it's like he's there, hair and makeup, early. And then at the same time, he's getting them shots up in the morning. He's doing everything he's doing for his body. So we got really, really fortunate that we had that much time with him, and it was incredible. But he did his thing. And again, by the way, he's acting. He's not even an actor, but he's acting against green screen. He's acting against fake characters and stuff. And he's pulling it off. With incredible people. But I'm excited. But yeah, he's got a future. Like I said, it's like if he wants to be The Rock, it can happen.
Wow.
So that's what's so exciting about everything that he did on this movie, man. It's gonna be really, really. I'm so excited for people to see it. Obviously, I'm sure you'll see it next time you're out there. But we got it. We got it in a nice place, the foundation, and it's like we got it now. It's like honestly, it's like a year of drawing. Because all the live action shit is, but now you got to actually draw the characters and all that kind of stuff, and it's crazy because I don't even, we also got to like reheat the tunes for the kids.
Of course.
Because the kids know Bron more than they know the tunes.
Of course. Let me ask you. So I was fortunate enough to be on set for a couple of days of him shooting. I was floored by the sheer like scale of just. It was almost like a company, like just the sheer scale of like set
Hundreds
and
of
the
people,
production of it. Like what what's that at a high level? Like, what's the production of Space Jam like? Like, just people and size and.
It's big, man. It's like 200 people. It's really a whole other company. We have a whole other office. You know, we have 4 or 5 stages going we had extras at some point. I don't know if you were there when we had all the crazy extras, but yeah, man, it's crazy. But that's what we do here. Like, we literally have that type of thing with everything. Like, I'm flying to Memphis tomorrow. We're making this show for ESPN Plus around Memphis and Penny. There's a little company there that's working. There's a little company everywhere we go. That happened to be the biggest one we had. But yeah, that's what it's about. It's just about bringing together like these teams to do a project, and then and if we're lucky, it's like, let's reuse these people. That guy's great. This guy's a great camera op. Yo, we got a costume designer. Like, let's do it over here. Like this guy here. So that's what we're building now, is like that infrastructure of the fucking SEAL Team 6 of this shit.
Yeah, I love that it all falls under all of our mandate and umbrella of like empowerment, right? Like, we're empowering groups of people, and everything down to like catering, down to all of it. Like,
it's dope to be able to hire people. You know what I'm saying? And be
especially people that look like us, right? Like,
of course,
totally give up people opportunities,
young people, and all that shit. Yep. So that's what's exciting, because there is some systemic shit with this, like especially in like the documentary world. Like, there's not like a way to get in. Like, there's not a way to be like, I really want to do. I like Last Chance U, but I'm actually interested in like what's behind the camera, and like that's what I learned is like the most glaring shit that I think we can be a part of fixing is unscripted, but 100% be like, you're right. This is about like building a team and making people that look like us win. So
I'm gonna put you on the spot. You got to give me one LeBron James story from him being on set for 60 days. It could be funny. It could be something that surprised you. It could be, give me something.
I'll give you two. The first one is goes without saying. You'll know this, but like when we wrapped at LeBron, there was a scene that I won't give away, but there's a scene where like everybody's kind of around each other, and Don Cheadle's this is public information, but he's the villain in the movie, and LeBron gave like the most he just gave the most incredible speech. Like for everybody working on like these 200 people. So imagine they're like the whole summer they're giving their life away. They literally sleep maybe 6 hours a night and come right back to set to like prep and get everything ready. And then he gave this like amazing speech that was really powerful for everybody. It just kind of, you know what I mean? Because he's a pro and
he's good at everything.
He's good at everything. He knows how to do this stuff. And then more recently, man, we just did this ADR, bro, and he's just like, again, good at everything, one taking all types of VO and shit, you know what I mean? So, I mean, the moral of the lesson is the dude is good at everything, you know what I mean? So I would expect that he is going to, maybe, I don't know, win an Oscar or something. No, he's incredible, man. And then on the funny shit, this summer was the summer of Taco Tuesday, so
of course.
One of the things he did was obviously we pulled the truck up and it was a whole thing, and we had the wild Taco Tuesday shit. But it was crazy because people might not know this, but they built a gym. And in fact, I've now seen marketing assets from other companies that are in that gym.
Yeah, like a real gym.
Yeah. So
state of the art.
One of the things people don't know is that he worked out, maybe because you follow him on IG, but like there was a whole gym built, and it just plopped down on Warner Brothers and displaced a lot of executives for the whole summer, and the music was loud and all that, and it was crazy. But that was one of the craziest things. And one of the other craziest things was there was some runs that happened there too. So there was some fun shit that happened there. But yeah, man, it was cool. But look, I said, like, I don't want to, I don't want to jinx anything, but I'm really happy with what the movie.
You feel great about it, about where it is right now, and where.
Yeah, I think it's good. We got a lot of work to do. You know what I mean? Like, so but the whole thing with SpringHill was still the first inning. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is exciting. I mean, we're still building the team. You already know, like getting everything together, and scripted and movies and all that shit. And we're still waiting on the PR, biopic and shit.
I was going to pitch you that next. We're running short on time. Before I get you out of here, one of the things I'm proudest of, and it's the last thing we'll cover.
It's a great wine.
That's what we do. We roll the red carpet out for you,
this
man.
Is amazing.
It's a white burgundy, real light. Mm-hmm. You heard the team upstairs. They're like, we've never seen you drink white. I'm like, Jamal Henderson's in town, baby.
I fuck with you.
we were talking earlier about like, early life Jamal and things you were into and passions and all of those things. One of the things that's not lost on me is that, if we go back, you and I'm older than you, but if we go back 30 years and we're kids, we don't even know, a young Jamal Henderson, a young Paul Rivera, don't even know that our roles even exist. We don't know, but you could be ahead of a student. Like what? Like you make movies. I don't even know it's a thing. I love movies. I don't even know how they're made. I don't know it's a thing. I love marketing. I love commercials. I love athletes. I love all these things. I don't know those are real jobs behind those people. Right?
Yeah.
What do you say to the young kid in Buffalo, right? That's not going the Griselda route, right?
They all going that right now.
They all going that route, right? I'm mad I didn't. What do you say to the young kid that has a passion for all things culture, whatnot, and movies and all those things, but has no maybe entry point to like this world?
Yeah.
Like, what's your advice to them in terms of like getting started?
I mean, look, what I would say is just do it, because look, here's the good. There's good news and bad news, right? The good news is it is easier and cheaper than ever to make that thing. So you got no excuse, because if you're hot, people will see the thing. It's like in the music industry, like there's no real barriers to entry.
Yeah, if SoundCloud, put it up, yeah.
Little Tekka happens, and it goes. So same thing with, obviously there's a little bit more cost of entry with production, but the good news is like just make shit. You know what I mean? The bad news is like everybody's making shit. You know what I mean? So you still gotta figure out ways to be, get the right schooling and the training and shit. But I tell people all the time is like my thing is writing. I think that there is. I think everybody wants to be like, so P, I got this idea, and the thing I've learned is the actual hardest little piece is the first $100,000. You can get anybody to be like, not I'm saying anybody, but like once we get the thing rolling, there's a lot of money that's like, I'll invest.
You got that? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But that proof of concept shit, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that hard work. And I think that's the thing that I would tell people to do is like always like, people always pitch me and shit. So look, here's the I was like, all right, cool, man. Look, I get it. Why don't you write it? I probably need a writer, if I had time.
I was thinking, you put up the writer's room.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe you would pay me, I'll write it, And it's like, but nah, it's like, yo, bet on yourself, man. Like do the one thing, like, and I don't know what that is. If you're a director, maybe it's like, I'm gonna go shoot a short. If you're a writer, it's like, what, I'm gonna do this on spec because I'm gonna blow your mind when I got the script. And now it's a thing. Now it's like, now you could actually maybe help me.
Yep.
Because you actually, P knows, you could call me. You could be like, yo, Maul, this is crazy, but I got the thing. I actually have the goods. Can someone
take a look at it? Yeah.
But mostly it's like, yo, I got this idea. Can I get you on the phone? It's that one, and it's not even crazy. It's not even crazy. So that's the thing I would tell people is like, yo, just do the one step. Invest in yourself, do the one step. And most people, that's really where everybody falls off. I think everybody went like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean?
It's a lot of work.
They don't understand my story.
Right, it's a lot of work. They don't get it.
You don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, cool.
So last question. I know how much stuff I get, whether it's people I know, whether it's DMs, whether it's whatever it is, or people pitching projects, right? What advice do you have to someone that actually has a project, right? What do you look for in a potential? I'm sure you see a million projects a week. What are you looking for that people should keep in mind as they're developing, writing, creating projects? What gets you excited about a potential project?
I'm just looking for like a unique voice, a unique take on something. Because a lot of times it's a family story. Well, there's a million family stories, but it's like, I never heard no shit like this from that voice, And a lot of times that comes as personal. It's like, well, you didn't grow up like me, so I'm the only one. There's only one of you. You know what I mean? There's 1,000 of them. There's one of you. So I would say like I love personal shit because it's like I know that's unique. Ain't nobody gonna tell me your story like you could tell me your story. You know what I mean? And that's my cheat code with it is voice shit. I really want a dope voice that's unique. That anything that we respond to is because it's like, like I never heard nobody pull it off like that. It's not like you never seen a fucking gangster show. It's like, but you never seen that shit the way it is. You know what I mean? So that's always the one that I'm looking for. And then you got to be who's going to do the thing, right? So it's like, a lot of 3 guys come into the office. It's like, all right, I bet. So it's hip hop. It's the 90s. It's a magazine.
Check it, yo.
Check it. And you're like, all right, cool. All right, so who's going to write it? We don't know that. All right, who's going to direct? We don't know. So it's like, by the way, I'm good with that because I'm one of those guys. Uh-huh. By the way, I'm one of those guys.
You asking all the real questions, they're like, this guy don't get it.
Fucking suit. What I tell you, he's a fucking suit.
You told me this guy got it. You
thought he was one of them. Yeah, but like, and I get it because I'm one of those guys. I'm just trying to shepherd the thing. Uh-huh. But at least bring the guy in the room who does the thing.
Got it.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to at least be able to be like, man, sing for these niggas. You know what I mean?
Hit him with it, son. Just 2 bars, man.
Yeah.
Just 2 bars.
So that's what I always tell people is like, yo, at least do that. If you're not going to be able to be like, all right, here's the thing. Like, let me bring you the thing. But I think, you're humble, but like one of the things you do is you always add value. You're good at that. You know what I mean? Like in relationships and shit, it's always like, hey, this might not be for me, but this might be for my mans. And then, you're always, you're fucking traffic. I don't know how you do it, man, because I know your phone is always buzzing, and it's like you're putting things all through all type of lenses. And I think it's one of the things. It's like, just add value, be additive. Because if you make my shit easier, of course I'm not.
Always space on the team.
But typically, it's like, how can you help me? How can you help me? And that's the part that is hard. But you know what I mean? Like, I think, to your point, it is like our responsibility. We're trying to figure that out. Like, let's teach everybody how to fish. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, hey, you don't have to be down. You don't have to be signed to me, or you don't have to have a deal with me. But like, I want to teach everybody how to fish, so everybody has their thing. It doesn't need to be. I hope there's not just one SpringHill. I hope there's a lot of SpringHills. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. No better way to end, ladies and gentlemen. Jamal Henderson, Mal, good having you on the show.
Great wine.
I've been with you. Take no responsibility for your success. I've been with you from day 0 at SpringHill to today.
It seems like it's all been gravy.
I'm excited to see where you take it from here to the next round.
Basically what you're saying is, since I met you, it's been on.
Tomato. Mom, thanks for coming on the show, man. Appreciate you.
Peace.